Alrighty. The second live stream this month has started. Go ahead and sit for a minute, see if anybody wants to come in. Hello! How are you doing?
What's poppin', boys?
It's great to see y'all again, as always, as always. It's great to see you. Hello, hello. Man, I think all three of you were here for yesterday's, after work stream. Didn't actually realize that it was a Saturday, because I work on the weekends. So, today's just Sunday fun day. Yeah, so I decided to give y'all a little bit of an idea of what I can do. This isn't the entire, this isn't every possibility, but it's good enough. I did turn off monetization, so yell at me if you still get ads, because I want to know that. But it's your first one? Oh, okay, so I guess I just recognize you from the comments then. Hello, hello, silly little guy. Well, it's fine to miss ones if you're having good times with family, so we're all good, we're all chill, we're happy to see each other. Sorry, I still have a little bit of cough, but that's probably, it seems like that's just going to be how it is from now on. Hopefully. Might go to the doctor at some point, but unlikely. So, once again, we are going to do this for about an hour. Then I'm going to end the stream, and I'm going to go to work, and I expect y'all to sleep well tonight. So much design work. Coughing ASMR. If there's anything I can say that I appreciate, it's the unbridled enthusiasm that y'all always have for everything, always. So I actually have a couple new triggers. Not new, but they've only shown up in one video so far. So, one's a little bit of a twist on the other. So, you might be able to hear this just a little bit. So I've got that one, and there's not water in it, but some more wood sounds. Surprise bone folder. I actually still have that. Let me just open my little toolbox. And we do have the bone folder still. And let me put that down and close my toolbox before it drops and makes a very loud noise. I have a toolbox for ASMR tools. This is the most ridiculous... Hush. This is the most ridiculous hobby that I've ever had. But we're going to... So ominous. Well, let me start with it. Actually, what I'm starting first with is... I like the sound of water sprays, but this is literally to just keep me from overheating. Gotta love Tejas. But we're going to go ahead and start with tapping on the bone folder with fingernails first, and then overheating is a no-go. It really is. hope y'all are picking that up pretty well. Y'all bone folder hours. One of my first triggers as well. I just happened to buy it. I'm happy that it tingles. Tingles. We don't want a K in there. So apparently a bone folder is for folding, I want to say, like letter locking, which is a way of writing letters that become their own envelope. That's good to hear. So at least I'm not the only one working on the weekends. No, I think the item for folding bones is called a blunt object. I'm gonna be honest, that's the only way that I'm aware of folding bones. Actually, given that we speak English, this is a bone folder. What you're thinking of is a bone folder. We don't have grammatical cases, so we rely on emphasis. Yeah, it's Saturday. Yesterday was Saturday. Today is Sunday. I thought I was going to have Monday and Tuesday off, but hey, congratulations on turning 18. You are, if you're an American, you're about to be half of an adult. Because you can do all the fun things except for the winky. No dwinky. Not allowed. Alright. Now, I'm going to immediately get into one of the hinted at ones. Tell me what y'all think. You are legal to go to jail. That, I mean, technically you don't have to be 18 to be tried as an adult, but either way, let's try not to. That's one achievement that I think most of us do not want to achieve. Yeah, the threat of being pulled over, that's a real one. And once you hit a certain age, it never goes away. I suppose, at least until you become rich enough that being pulled over doesn't matter, but most of us aren't going to achieve that. But this is a very odd trigger that I personally love. It is corn kernels in a ceramic mug. And you can tell the ceramic. You become a little bit more dexterous with tapping. Well, you know, if we can't be rich in our finances, it can be rich in spirit is what I was thinking of. I was about to say rich in our ghosts, but that is not what the phrase is, and that's a little too late to matter. Flirt with the cop in an ooh voice. I cannot do an ooh voice, so I would not blame him for... I would not blame the cop for tasing me. I think you can tell from my voice. The ooh-woo voice and I do not get along. Oh. Dropped the corn kernel. This might become a mess. I think I overfilled it just a little bit, but... it is what it is. Hello, hello. How are you doing, Tokyo? I'm happy to see you back again. Well, voices are fun to do. I wouldn't know. Actually, my voice is so strict in what it wants to be that unless it's a very specific way, unless it's a very specific way, when it hits too high of a note, it just cuts out. Like, signal goes away. Give me uno momento. Ulvi needs some water. Now. Okay, I had to indulge one more time. Hydration is important. I would like y'all to hydrate as well, but, you know, we're all masters of our own destiny. I don't know, I need to put some WD-40 on my alarm clock. Riz him up with a Darth Vader voice. Now that's a compliment right there. Perfect voice for ooh speak. Just use the dialect and speech patterns with your regular voice. Oh, hold on. Well, so don't change. Will you have some cursed thinking? So you're saying don't do the high-pitched voice. Just speak in the ooh tone, or, way. That... what would that even sound like? I'm trying to remember. First of all, country ooh-woo deep voice master. That is a sentence that has never ever been said before. I choose my own destiny? Yeah. Please don't. Alright, we're already, But Tokyo, are you saying that you don't want me to... Actually, yeah, I can't. I was going to bully you, but, that would be more of a kamikaze than anything, I suppose. Let me make sure this is off, actually. Alright, cool. So, this is my, this is my alarm clock. I specifically bought one. You see, some people some people, when they hear or see somebody saying, "Please God, no, I beg," find a target there, but, you know, chill. Atrociously thirsty for me. That is a very interesting phrase. Atrociously thirsty for you. Holy moly. But what I was saying, this here is my alarm, actually. But it's got, as far as I'm concerned anyway, for me, it's got the perfect classic tap sound. More of a teasing person. Well, teasing and bullying within certain rounds are basically the same thing, are they not? It's all about intensity and intent, I think. Alright. So we've gone tappies, we've gone whatever you count this as. And now we're going to lower just a little bit. Teasing is like bullying, but with what? Exactly. Exactly. That's exactly what I was saying. You were able to describe it exactly when I'd like. I think it depends on one's experiences, potentially. Because the word bully has become a little bit memed recently, which is why it's been lowered to more of a teasing status in the zeitgeist. But for clarification, I tease people. I don't like bullying. Not real bullying. I like play bullying. Well. I think that this conversation has risen the energy just a little bit. In a couple different directions. So I would never tell y'all to shut up. I'm just taking the reins a little bit. And we're going in a more soft direction now. No. That's not a name I expected to see here. I'm gonna be honest. I saw the phrase physical touch, and I was reminded of an ASMR video that I watched recently, where it was a roleplay, not as much of an ASMR, not a pure ASMR anyway. And the premise was the speaker wanted to have practice to open a physical, like a real life, in-person ASMR spa sort of thing. And the only thing I could think is that that business would be either really popular or really unpopular. I do not think that there would be a middle ground. there definitely. I know some would, but oh man. But something I've noticed, at least this is the case for me, is that ASMR videos are a lot easier to enjoy because there's that degree of separation, right? Because ASMR is an inherently intimate thing. It's not necessarily sexual, but it is an intimate sort of thing. It's very up close, it's very soft, all that stuff, right? So, what you would need is for that business to make people feel safe enough that they would be allow you to be like that in person. So that's more what I mean. Yeah. I mean, massages are very similar as well, but with massages, it's also a results-based thing, I think is how I would describe it, where you go and get a massage for your muscles to feel better. Mingo. What am I missing? Japan on... Oh man, I would love to go to Japan. I would love to go to Japan, man. I have a long bucket list of countries that I would love to go to. And none of them would be the tourist areas. I'm a history and culture nerd. I don't care about tourist areas. I'd go if it were unpopular to test if I could riz the Rizzlers. Oh, I'm old. I'm an old man. But Jasper, have you been a good boy? Have you been a good boy? Have all of you been good boys or good girls? Because I think being called that would require you to be good. You can't be a bad boy or a bad girl and be called good. Now can you? Stop. Nah, you're not a fan. Oh. Seems like I might need to go with democracy there. I apologize. I'm so happy that I'm not the only one that likes being called a good boy. Because I was not always into ASMR. So I carried this quality for years, thinking I was just a little weirdo. Well, I suppose a big weirdo, but a moderately sized weirdo. Let's see. Excuse me. Well, it seems like all of y'all are saying that you've been good. So, I suppose I can call you all good boys. My good boys. And the good girls in here as well. We've got room for all of y'all. We enjoy the good boys, we enjoy the good girls, and all of y'all need to be treated gently, lovingly, and pampered well. to do that number. And if you've got a decent diet, I will give you Oreos. But if you eat too much candy and other stuff, I'm gonna have to be the strict one. No Oreos until you finish your vegetables. Gotta balance it out. I have a collar if you have a lock. You know what? Hold on. 1 second. I just forgot. I'm not relating to y'all as much as I could. Ignore the thing dropping. Oh, there we go. I did not put on a collar. I know it sounds like that. I do own several, but they're all for my dogs. However, I do have a thing that's called a torque. It is a... let's try this one. Put it on. I'm not putting on my dog's collar. That's just unhygienic. But I do have something called a torque, or a neck ring. It's open in the front, which is why it's definitely not a collar. But it is made of silver. It is stiff. And I cannot go back to necklaces. The way that necklaces move around constantly and thump against your chest. I got that solid chunk of silver on my neck. I got that silver chunk of silver, baby. So it is either T-O-R-Q-U-E or T-O-R-C. So either torque or Old English torch. Or rather torch. There's two different spellings. Yeah, so there are arm rings as well, or arm torques. I have one of those as well. But I have a job where you have an increased chance of getting physical with someone in a not great way, and the wrist, because it's closed, it's not a really normal bracelet, it can get caught up. Hair is really bad. If you have some freak show with long hair, which is not the same thing as a normal person with long hair. Very specifically a freak show with long hair. Yeah, the wrist torque can get caught, and no one likes having their... I guess I won't say that no one likes having their hair pulled, but if they do, I don't want that to be part of the job. It isn't... So, a torque, or torch, or arm ring, these are very old sorts of jewelry. The Celts had them, and the Germanics had them when they kind of migrated and pushed into Celtic territory. I imagine a bunch of cultures had them, but at least in Europe, at least in Western Europe, the Celts had them, the Germanics had them. I believe because the Slavs of Central and Eastern Europe came from the Old Norse, or rather the Vikings when they came down to like Byzantium and all that. I believe the Slavs also had them, but it may have fallen out of fashion by the time that, you know, the Slavs became the Slavs, which were distinct from the Germanics. History lesson. I'm sorry, I didn't actually mean to do that. I just get really into history and culture and languages. I'm putting this one down. I don't know if it's too loud or not. So I'm gonna go back to this one. I think this is a little bit more varied and a little bit more smooth. Celtic was auto-filled in my search, and as an Irish person, that made me happy. You know, it's absolutely insane to me. So, my interest in history started with Rome, as many of ours did, outside of school. And Rome's cool, I suppose. But something that I think is really funny about my understanding, so take this with a grain of salt, is that Rome looked at the people up north, and they called them the Gauls, right? They were part of Gallia. Gallia Roma est. And I'm convinced that while they were still trying to take Gallia over, the Gauls, also known as the Celts to us, were very quietly, to the Romans anyway, being overrun by the Germanics, which just kind of appeared one day. So it's like if you have a neighborhood and you point across the street and go, I hate those neighbors, and then, hey, Aznak, how are you doing? Weird sentence for you to join in on. It is an analogy. I don't hate my neighbors. But the way that the Romans looked at the Gauls, I believe, is if you looked at the neighbors, let's call them the Hernandezes. I don't know, I'm in Texas, it's a very common name. Or the Smiths. So you look at the Smiths, you say, I hate the Smiths, they're my neighbors, I hate the Smiths. And then they move out, and then people come in, and then they just keep calling these people the Smiths, and write it down in their books. Romans are so funny, dude, historically speaking, because they did not care about anyone except for themselves. Yeah, it's like the Dinkelberg meme, but if somebody else moved in, completely different person. And Timmy's dad just never, it was still just Dinkelberg. Just Dinkelberg's band. Forever. 4 different people could have moved in. They're all Dinkelbergs because they live in that house. Let's see. I love my ASMR with knowledge. Keep going. You'd love to hear me ramble. Can't do it for everyone, but I really enjoy you here. That's another thing, is I have this, I think it's a bad habit, I'm gonna be honest, but I have this habit of getting really interested into a culture. And because culture and language are very much intertwined, because a language is how you view and express your views of the world, and a culture is the bedrock for those views to form. One can influence the other, and vice versa. So whenever I get interested into a culture, the first thing I do is try to learn the basics of the language. I'm not a polyglot. I do not know other languages. This just means that in my, in the box of English rules and words, I think I've just been polluting it with other languages. Which means that my English has actually significantly dipped in quality. Because in my English box, I have words and rules for Old English, the Germanic one, not before the French came in and Frenched it up. Old Norse, which is very similar to Old English, but still. Scottish Gaelic, which is different from Irish Gaelic, though they are interchangeable. They're not mutually understandable. A little bit of Slavic. I'm getting into Slavics recently. And all of that has become me being worse at English. You know, the reason I say that is because French is a very interesting language, historically speaking, and I am convinced that it is fake. Like, I know that people speak French now. I am convinced it's not a natural language, because supposedly it came from Latin, but it also is a mix with a Germanic language that the Franks spoke, which means that it is an abomination. Just this weird mixed breed that was never meant to happen. Old English was also a Germanic language, and then the French came in and added a bunch of French to it, and that is where every single problem with the English language came up. If you've ever wondered why our spellings make no sense, most of the time, though not all the time, it's because it's a borrowing of a French word, or it's a vestigial feature of rules from French that we no longer use, but is still a holdover in our spelling. Although I will say that it is the French that gave us a lot more of our poetic way of speaking. So it's not a bad thing, but it is... Okay, it's not all bad. French in its own is a good language, I'm sure. It's just... English was not made for the... Let's see, they have a committee for the preservation of the French language in France. Make sure every... I can see that. So, why does everyone hate the French? So, we primarily, I mean, unless you're not in the Anglosphere, being England, America, Australia, and Canada. And if you're not from those countries, or currently in them, let me know. But in the Anglosphere, there was this weird propaganda campaign regarding the French being cowards because of World War II, which is just goofy. And then it's just stuck. But 40 degrees heat land. Okay, so you're Nazi. I assume, anyway. I assume. 40 degree can either be Fahrenheit or Celsius, and those are two very different numbers. Yeah, okay, there we go. But, yeah, the French kind of get bullied for some things that are genuinely not their fault. But I will bully them for the language. Because, while, again, the French language itself is good, English was not made to accommodate it. You sound like the perfect partner. What is it? Not viewer's discretion needs, but buyer beware. I'll say that. That will be my response to that. Oh man, it is so hot. For me, English is very hard only because of the fact I was taught Japanese. Ooh boy. Yeah, English and Japanese are almost completely alien to each other. French is a lot of grammar, which sounds the same in English to English speakers. So there is a lot of similarity between modern English and modern French. I think there's closer similarity between modern English and Norman French, because that's when the French entered our language. But at the very core of it, English is still very much a Germanic language, which is why the French elements do stand out. But again, at the end of the day, it's all culture, and it's all how people speak. There's no such thing, in my opinion, as a bad language. Old English gives me an aneurysm. Old English... So everyone has a type of language that they really like, and possibly one that they really don't like, purely based on like sound and grammar and how their brain works. Old English is a Germanic language, which is not German, although obviously German is also a Germanic language. It is very rough, perhaps is how I'll say it. I really like it. I like these rougher languages. I like German. I like Old Norse, which means that I also like Swedish. Norwegian has this very pretty sing-song quality. Well, French is gendered because it has grammatical cases. But that is genuinely grammatical cases with gendered language in it is, I think, almost universal. It's not completely universal, but I think it's almost universal. Let's see. Please do videos like this. Teach me along with relaxing sounds. Your explanations are nice, and I like hearing your opinions. That's not the reaction I expected. When I went like hard into being a nerd, I expected a massive drop-off in views. Gotta be honest. But it is nice to know that y'all enjoy it. Man, I'm such a nerd in things. I love learning. I really love learning. Spanish and French both have gendered grammatical cases, just so you know. Same with Italian and, well, basically anything coming from the Romance languages. Romance being Roman, not romantic. I was lied to as a kid. Actually, I really did pull an actually, didn't I? But we love this. That's good to know. No. No. I didn't stop because someone told me to stop. It's fine. No, I arm actually. I was the meme. I was the emoticon, 100%. Or emoji, rather. We never had an actually emoticon, and no one really uses emoticons anymore. But Old Norse is... Because I saw someone that said they wanted to learn Old Norse. It is... If you know English, rip. Because Old English is super French now. Like, again, it's still a Germanic language, but it is very Frenchified. And it's grown away from Old Norse, just like Old Norse has grown away in different ways. It's why we have Swedish, Danish, and Norwegian. But Old Norse has a lot of... It has this thing called umlaut in it, which is basically cheating. Because if you go to Proto-Norse, everything makes sense, which is why like Old English, the rules are what the rules are. But if you go to Old Norse, it's Dude, God, I love accents. I love accents in general. You give me an accent that isn't baseline American, and I am... You've got some bonus points. Bonus points. It is not a penalty against normal Americans, but... Yeah, Afrikaans is a... I don't remember if it is a mixture of an African language and Dutch, or if it is just an offspring of Dutch. I don't remember that much, but British accents. When we say Britain, we're typically talking about England, because Britain has the Welsh and the Cornish and the Scots and, well, the Scottish, as well as the Irish, obviously. But we usually mean English. And England has a lot of different accents. Like, it is crazy. You walk for 10 minutes and you're probably going to end up going from Londonian to, Old West, whatever. I don't know the names. I'm really bad about that. Oh, dude, Scottish and Irish. Okay, again, I can't say which accent I love because I love all of them. I don't want to say that. It is really easy to impress me if you've got an accent, I suppose, is what I'll say. You do have a lot to choose from in Britain. Okay, I will admit, Cockney is basically just English New York accent. And once you hit certain accents, it really depends on the person. Because I don't like the New York accent, but cute people or earnest people with a New York accent, oof, jeez Louise, game over, man. Broken English accent. At the end of the day, communication is the most important thing. So actually, I've already done that before. Let's go back to... Ooh, let's go with the rough brush. But, broken English and accent? Broken English is a spoken form of English that is heavily influenced by another accent. I think it technically counts as an accent, just not it's not a solidified accent, which I think most people think of when they mean accents, is one that does not improve with learning the language. But at the end of the day, speaking is all about communication, which means that if I can understand you... Oh, dude, Russian accents are great. Okay, I keep saying that. You guys, you can name literally any accent in the world, and I'll probably have the same reaction of, oh man, I love it. But yeah, I love Russian, I love German, I love Danish, or Swedish rather. I love oh god, German too. German's great. Honestly, a French accent is also really nice. And I can listen to somebody talk to me in French all day long. And one day I'm probably going to learn a little bit of French. But the only time I don't like French is where it's in my English. I just don't like the Latin in my Germanic language. Oh my god, that got a dot about a lot. Are those reactions? Is that what y'all are doing? Why did I just get like 1,000 little heart and 100s? You gotta make a video that's just scritching triggers. I can do it. I edited, or did you? You edited the actually Ulfgrim picture? Silly little guy. I have an email that is connected to my YouTube channel. Would you mind emailing that to me? Because one, I would love to see it, and also, that's just perfect for this channel. On your community tab. Yeah, because I don't think I can download things from your community tab. I see big red button, I press big red button. The caveman instinct. I am also one of you. Yeah, so I have an email. It is, I think, in the About section of my channel. I think it's in the About section. And you can absolutely feel free to send fan art if you want Ulfgrim the Bald. I mean, if you want to do fan art, I would absolutely love and appreciate it, and I will share it with the community. I think that sort of thing needs to be encouraged. Is it 8? Oh, it is 8. 15 more minutes. I don't want to have to get up yet. It's not time for school. Will, I appreciate you, well, one in general, but also I appreciate you trying to aid me in that, because I can get distracted really easily. But yeah, so you can go to the email if you want to send anything to not dick pics. I really shouldn't have said that. That was that was not intentional. But you can send me anything kosher. I do commissions as well. I think it's the hold on. Oh god, I'm hitting everything. I'm just gonna do. Assuming I can spell my old name. Volver Skold at gmail.com. And let me double check because I am borderline illiterate. Gmail. Oh, hold on, I can just copy it. Yeah, I'm just gonna copy it. That way I don't have to worry about my absolute illiterate state. Bop. Yeah, so that's my email. Like I said, y'all can send fan art, and I'll love it, and I'll share it with the community. You can send comments and messages, and I will do my best to reply. This isn't an advertisement, this is just since I'm telling everyone else about it. You can commission audios. I do both private and public ones. Private, not in the pervy way. I'm a wholesome channel. But, you know, if you just want something for yourself with your name or whatever, I can absolutely do that for you. You know, whatever else. It's open for communication. Keep responding. I love the cowboy emoji. Keep it respectable, y'all. We want to keep it respectable here. Goblin mode. Right. I can't do goblin mode. You have to put shinies. You have to put shinies in front of me, or absolute garbage worth 5 credits. One or the other. It has to either be very valuable or not valuable at all. Weird idea. I can't activate goblin mode. I'm sorry, Will. It's very circumstantial. It's something that comes out. It's the beast. It's the goblin inside me. Arthur Morgan? Who is Arthur Morgan? I'm sorry, Ari. Did you just call me? Did you just call me like a dog? Because you're not wrong, but that takes some balls. But Ari, I'm already here for you. I'm already here for all of y'all. You can do that when I'm not actively streaming. Because I'm already at your beck and call. Don't make me bring out... No. Man, the words alpha and beta have been absolutely destroyed in my brain. Just, I cannot. I had a friend, who I thought was a friend anyway, that, am I food motivated? I am... Here's how you can understand what Ulvi is, what Ulfgrim the Skald, who Ku is. I'm basically a caveman that accidentally into the modern day. I don't have the highest standards for food, but I like food. I struggle with technology, and I have unintentionally reinvented things that our ancient ancestors have. Like I'm trying to cut soda, right? And I don't like tea. I don't like tea leaves. I don't like the flavor. So I was trying to make some herbal tea, right? So I gathered a bunch of berries and I threw it into the cooked water, right? And I just kept adding more water to it, right? Not tap water, bottled water, or rather, not whatever the thing you put on the water that doesn't kill microbes. Whatever, I can't speak. And I just kept replacing the water, and eventually, it was no longer tea. I had unintentionally started to ferment it into alcohol. I made a tea, and then I accidentally, I think there must have been like yeast in the air, or on the berries or something, and I accidentally, like, I checked it a while later because a friend was telling me, "Hey, idiot, I think you made alcohol," and I checked it. And it had... And it's not only that, there have been other things where I just I just completely reinvent the wheel for no reason. I'm also just an idiot. I remember one time I was listening to on the way home from work, I was listening to a video talking about different fire extinguishers because, obviously, and they said CO2, right? So CO2 fire extinguisher. I love chemistry, and I'm stupid. So, so I was like, what is CO2? Okay, so carbon, O2, so carbon dioxide. It's just carbon dioxide. It's just that thing that everyone knows. Everyone knows what oxygen, water, usually H2O, and carbon dioxide are. Everyone knows these. I had to reinvent it. I had to... Oh, no, this is just me talking about how I'm an idiot and reinvent things. So the tea I accidentally turned into wine because I'm a goofball. Because I just accidentally... Like, this is literally... the tea thing is genuinely probably how our ancestors did it, was they just threw a bunch of fun little berries or wine in the rain collection jar, and it just became booze. And what did I do? I put berries into a water collection jar that I drank from, and it became booze. Can I chew gum and walk? I can do a lot of things and walk. I am able to... I'm a physical person. In a lot of ways, I'm a physical person. But... Jesus. I'm Jesus. I'm not as much of a fan of that way of saying it. But, what is it? Whatever, I forgot what I was saying. But, my body knows what it's doing. My brain is still stuck in the, Neolithic era. Maybe Bronze Age. I think I made it there in some cases. Why are y'all calling me a himbo? I don't know what himbo means. Is that just a guy bimbo? I heard nothing. Oh boy. Message retracted. Tokyo, what did you do? What did you say? I didn't know you could retract messages from YouTube chat. That's crazy. Holy bald. Oh boy. God, I'm gonna have some fun pictures to look at in my email once we're done. Yeah, and then now we're into the... Maybe not teases. The tea fermenter thing. Vietnam flashbacks. Oh, I could absolutely make a hammer. So, legitimately, something that I take pride in is that I have the skills to, or I am continuing to build up the skills that should the information age collapse. We are in the information age. So if, you know, the big networks collapse, I am building up the skills to get by, and I have I have actually a few notebooks of stuff that are just a collection of things that I think that I will not remember that would be good. Like, I am prepared for us to go back to the Stone Age. Not the apocalypse. I'm not a prepper. I'm just a caveman waiting to go back to my time. I'm like the opposite of Samurai Jack. Big and sweet, but also missing a few brain cells. Alright, I guess I'll take that. I'm the abnormality. Alright. I did already learn how to make booze. Apparently booze just makes itself. I don't think booze actually requires I think if you want a very specific kind of booze, I think if you're aiming like, oh, I want 0.10% or whatever, then yeah, you need to care a little bit. But if you're just looking for booze, it makes itself. It's just little yeasties going in there and eating sugar and pooping out alcohol. Yeah. In fact, it happens so naturally that there are countless videos of animals eating berries and fruits on the ground and getting hammered. Also, alcohol is a poison, so, you know, that's why it has the fun effects. I've sheared so far. Oh, this is more Lobotomy Corporation stuff. I think there's a whole sub-conversation going on in the chat, and I'm honestly loving it. Man, I cannot believe that I've gotten to a community size where I can go into the comments of the videos and see you guys having conversations with each other. It is awesome. It is so cool to see that. I absolutely love it. Just get a jar of cherry juice, forget about it forever, and it will be alcoholic syrup. You are absolutely correct. And you are also absolutely correct, Will. It has been about 15 minutes, so I am Have you been flirting? I'm sorry, Jasper. I think you might just be accidentally blending in. But, well, maybe I shouldn't invite flirting. I think that's going to be asking for a lot. So, in any case, thank y'all for coming. As always, both streams were a lot of fun to do for this weekend. So I might try to do it more often. Both of these days have been successful. I'm loving it. Did any of y'all get ads, by the way? Like, any ads, just one. I loved shaving you. That is a threatening statement, but I know what you're talking about, so I'm happy with it. No ads, no ads. Alright, okay. That is good to know. So, in that case, we are playing the unmonetized game for these live streams from here on. Because ASMR, I don't even get ads, crying. Where are the ads? I demand ads. But, alrighty. Y'all have a great night, and y'all sleep well. Love y'all.